Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program Capital Beat. Lieutenant Governor of Jammu Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, has stoked a controversy by saying that Mahatma Gandhi, that is Bapu, doesn't have a law degree. Manoj Sinha was speaking at a function at ITM Gwalior where he was trying to differentiate between literacy and education. And that is when he made this uncharitable remark about Mahatma Gandhi, saying that he doesn't have any university degree, rather, he only has a school diploma. Now, there were several reactions coming from various quarters, including Mahatma Gandhi's great grandson, Tushar Gandhi. I have with me Tushar Gandhi right now to speak on this particular issue. Thank you so much, Tushar, for joining on the Federal. And
Sure.
your first reaction really to what Manoj Sinha has said. And did he make this remark deliberately? Because everybody knows that Mahatma Gandhi did have a law degree. Everybody who has read his autobiography also does know that he was a barrister. He completed his law degree. And then also, despite all this information being in the public domain, if a person sitting on a constitutional post like Manoj Sinha, if he makes this kind of a comment, what would you really say about his intentions?
But initially, I was amused when I heard about this new allegation against Bapu. But I have grown used to every few days somebody or the other standing up and accusing Bapu of one thing or the other. It's now sort of if a couple of months pass without a new controversy regarding Bapu not happening, I start feeling withdrawal symptoms. It's become such a regular practice. And I believe it's not, unfortunately, everybody responds to every pinprick as a standalone thing. But I have come to the conclusion that this is a very orchestrated campaign that has been run forever since Bapu's murder. And when they
Right.
realized that murdering the man wasn't enough to do away with him, and that the thought had become even more oppressing for their ideology, they have continuously done character assassination of him. And this is a toolkit given to their players, and everybody has been given cues of when to respond and scripts to read out. It's
Right.
very difficult to believe that somebody at such a high position would not even logically think before making such a asinine statement in public, saying that somebody who practiced law in courts for 22 years was doing so without having a legitimate degree. That means that Bapu was such a big con man that he hoodwinked the entire empire to not only allow him to practice in their courts, but even one of their most premier lodges, the institution which put the stamp of approval on lawyers, the inner temple, was hoodwinked into believing that this man was qualified to be a lawyer. Somebody of the level of the lieutenant governor should at least have thought about this and said, common sense makes me believe that at that point of time he wouldn't have gotten away with such a big con game.
Absolutely. But this looks like some deliberate strategy to just completely wipe out the legacy of Bapu. Don't you feel it that way? Of course, you have been saying it repeatedly, but the very fact that an LG of a particular state makes a comment like this, what does it really show? I mean, will it not go down in the legacy? I mean, will it not go down in the pages of history as something which is so uncharitable about Mahatma Gandhi?
It will. But you see, the objective is not just the character assassination of Mohandas Gandhi. It's also their ongoing campaign to discredit established history and
Right.
say that everything you've been told, because he not only said that, Bapu wasn't qualified, but he said that even intellectuals sitting on this stage
Yes.
and in this meeting will do not know that Gandhi was not qualified, he did not have any degree. And he
Uh,
said, I am saying
right.
it from very firm knowledge, undeniable knowledge that I have. So this
Right.
wordplay must also be taken into consideration.
Absolutely. Tushar, I was wanting to interrupt you because I want to play out for the viewers what exactly Manoj Sinha has said, and then I'll continue the conversation with you because many viewers who have missed what Manoj Sinha said must see that what a person who is sitting on the post of an LG of a state makes a comment like this about Mahatma Gandhi. Let's listen in to what Manoj Sinha said in Gwalior during that function. Let's listen in.
Did you know that he did not have a single university degree or qualification? There are many of us who think that Mahatma Gandhi had a law degree. No, he did not. His only qualification was a high school diploma. He qualified to practice law. He did not have a law degree. He had no degree. Yes, just look at how educated he was, father of the nation, Rashtrapita Bane. So let me also make it clear to you that do not only be indulging in the formal connection with the degree and what you think is education.
So, Tushar, if you just heard what Manoj Sinha has said, he actually stops in between and he says that, and he reads out from a written note that, look, many intellectuals believe that, and many thinkers believe that he has a degree. And then he reads out a particular comment saying that, he just has a school diploma. Now, what about the people who are advising Manoj Sinha? Who are those bureaucrats who are actually giving him a handout script to read from a paper? What would you really say to them as well?
I don't think this was a script given to him by his official script writers. He was following the script given to him by his political ideology, the Sangh, and that superseded everything else. So we must understand that this is not, I keep saying this is not a standalone incident. This is part of an ongoing chain of attempts to diminish the established belief, to create doubts about it, and to defame an identity who, even 75 years after they murdered him, still troubles them so much. Mohandas
Right.
Karamchand Gandhi. And so all these people are just players of bit roles assigned to them in that huge big scheme of thing. And unfortunately, they have succeeded in creating enough doubt in minds of people to start believing such absolutely baseless fantasies to be truths. It's
Right.
becoming more and more easy for them to convince people. I was said, how do you respond to this doubt about the education? I said, please at least use your common sense and judge the statements to the reality. The man practiced law not only in India but in South Africa under adverse conditions for 22 years.
Right.
And now, 75 years after his death, you want to say that he was a fraud, that he pulled the wool over the entire empire and its system where this thing. And, even if you just took the trouble to see the history of that time and see the struggles he had to fight in South Africa to get his license to practice law, because as soon as he established his credentials, the Bar Council of the two provinces of Natal and Transvaal challenged it and said there are no coolie barristers. We don't accept black barristers, only white people become lawyers. And
Right.
Bapu had to actually submit all his paperwork to prove that, look, you may not have barristers of my race in this country, but I am the first one. Here are my credentials,
Right.
undeniable. And that kind of a hostile, in that kind of a hostile attitude, also he was able to make them realize that they could not deny him the right to practice law. This
Right.
is history.
Tushar, right, absolutely. And these are all things which are etched out in history. But Tushar, is it true that you have dispatched copies of the autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi to LG's office, to Raj Bhavan in Jammu and Kashmir, and other BJP leaders as well?
No, I just sent it to the Lieutenant General of Jammu and Kashmir, to the Raj Bhavan, because that was the first reaction that came to my mind. I said, look, I need to educate this poor soul, because somewhere or the other I had sympathy for his idiocy. And I said, it's my duty. I know the truth, and it's my duty to enlighten this bloke, because he really needs enlightenment. And so the first thing I did was I dispatched autobiography addressed to him, and I have inscribed in it that if you are able to read, please, this will help you educate yourself. I hope he at least attempts to read it. I don't know if he will understand it, but I hope at least if he reads it. So that was my first reaction, and I felt that lies should be countered by truth, and not
Right.
what I believe to be true, but what was already established beyond any reason to believe that it was falsified, or that be somebody else wrote a convenient history. Here's what some. And
Right.
when I announced this on social media, I got a lot of brickbats saying, "Oh, but that is an autobiography written by him. So that con man could have written anything. How do we believe? Show us the degree certificate." So the next thing I did was I also got copies of the degree certificates, and uh, in one of my articles explaining the whole thing, I've reproduced
Yes.
the degree certificates too, so that at
I
least
saw that
then they would
article.
say that.
Yes. Right. And you produced all the degrees along with a school diploma. I did read that article, but many people in Gwalior with whom I spoke to, they said that from certain quarters there is going to be a move where they're going to file an FIR. They will get a case registered against LG. Now, would that really hold good at this point of time, given the fact
Not
that
going
he's
to
sitting on a constitutional post, and people are expressing anger?
It's not going to work, because constitutionally he's immune against prosecution while he is in office. And so
Right.
no court is going to entertain any plea for prosecution or anything of that sort. Uh, and it's very far-fetched to believe that once he relinquishes that post, he will be prosecutable. That doesn't happen. So I don't think the legal recourse has any merit in it, although people are doing that. What I believe is that it should be challenged on a constitutional level, because that clause that grants them immunity specifically says that in the course of their duty, their actions will not lead them to being prosecuted. I don't
Right.
think that he was speaking in his capacity as a governor in Gwalior. He was making his own comments. It
Right.
wasn't part of his duty to defame Bapu. He chose
Right.
to do that. So, would
Right.
that particular instance be prosecutable? Would that
Right.
particular incident uh, take away the cover of immunity that he enjoys in his official capacity? Maybe
Hmm.
somebody could raise that question and ask the highest court of the land to rule constitutionally on that. I don't know if
Right.
that's possible or not.
But allow me to say this. But Tushar, that since Bapu is nobody but a father of the nation, and he is a historical figure, he's like India's legacy. Can the Supreme Court not take a suo motu cognizance of what has been said by Manoj Sinha?
Uh, Two things that I would like to say over here is that, ironically, under our constitution, Bapu is equated with the national emblem and national flag. And the
Right.
National Emblems Act very specifically mentions that any insult or demeaning of Mahatma Gandhi will also be considered as an offense against the national emblem and flag and will be prosecutable. So under that provision, does that provision hold supremacy over the immunity to the governor or not? The Supreme Court should, take cognizance of that and rule on that. So once and for all, it's established that no, the governor's immunity, uh, you know, is superior to anything else, and whether that National Emblems Act can be applied to this, it should be challenged. It should be asked
Are you
about, and
not
I
thinking
think
of
it's not.
challenging? You are from his family. Are you not thinking of challenging it maybe through a PIL or even through a defamation? Why not? Because people are talking about the defamation case of Rahul Gandhi, where he
Yeah.
said he's got disqualified completely from the parliament. So why not a defamation case against Manoj Sinha?
I maybe may consider it from this angle, the angle that I have spoken about, because I don't have too much faith in the court overruling his immunity in this instance. So maybe a case asking for comparative, about whether the National Emblems Act has supremacy or whether the governor's immunity has supremacy. Maybe that angle could be explored. I'll talk to lawyers.
Okay,
We
okay.
must also remember one
That is
thing,
going to
that
be
our
your
courts,
recourse. So that is going to be
maybe,
your recourse, you said.
maybe, yes, maybe.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
will study it. I don't like to keep rushing to courts without the possibility of their not being able to throw my plea out.
Right.
I wouldn't want to appeal and without even bothering to listen to me, the justice says, no, this is not entertainable, get out.
Right.
Our courts are too overworked at the moment. There's so many things of more vital importance than them
No,
being
but if
taxed
you
for
give
this.
them, but if you give them a lot of leeway also, so will it not lead to a situation where today Manoj Sinha has made a comment and tomorrow somebody else could say the same thing, even if that person is sitting on a constitutional post? So don't you think that there should be some kind of a barrier, some kind of a check and a balance, which should be created, maybe even if it's coming constitutionally? Why not? How do you stop
Maybe,
this?
maybe that is an angle that maybe I can explore.
Okay. But talking about the larger issues of democracy, Tushar, it's important to talk to you about that as well. Right now, when allegations are that BJP is trying to silence the opposition, BJP doesn't let people talk, and people from BJP, whatever they say, can get away. But if it's the opposition, they are either put behind bars or they are disqualified. What would you really say to this pattern which is evolving in the country?
So we are very conveniently allowing the rulers to take on autocratic tendencies under the guise of being a democratic government.
Right.
It's a very dangerous portent for the country, because an undeclared autocracy is much more dangerous than an open dictatorship. Unfortunately, at the moment, they are getting away with becoming autocrats disguised as democrats, and that is very dangerous. It is something that we must all be very scared about, anxious about.
What can the people do at this point of time? And I'm talking to you about the options which people have, because on one hand we are seeing what is happening in Israel, where you have a janta which is so much aware of their fundamental rights, of their rights having lost. So there's so much of awareness about the rights, and there you see the media also in Israel is completely backing the people over there, not the ruling dispensation or the ruling coalition government over there. But we don't see that kind of awareness in India, and we call our democracy so mature.
Yeah, true. But we must also remember that we have stopped Democrats from turning dictatorial and taking authoritarian roles for themselves in the past very successfully, using democratic means. And not even if we don't want to go back to the time when we put a halt in Indira Gandhi's journey towards becoming a dictator.
Hmm.
just 2 years back, 3 years back, the anti-CAA agitation was on the verge of, making the government blink when they conveniently managed to sabotage it. It was a spontaneous people's movement. And even the farmers' agitation was a very spontaneous people's farmers' agitation, and it brought the government to its knees, at least momentarily. So I don't see that our situation is hopeless. If we were to do it, the problem is that the ruling dispensation has sort of managed to convince the majority that we are Democrats, kind of thing.
Right.
And that illusion they have very successfully kept alive in front of our people. But it's cracking. These last few weeks with their reaction to Rahul, and also the shedding of that, the blinkers of Rahul being a pappu post his Bharat Jodo Yatra and all that, people are seeing things the way they are. And I think this time the BJP will find it difficult to get away with its ability to hoodwink everybody about its noble intentions. No matter how much the Prime Minister rants about him being the sole crusader against corruption, the Adani accusations are sticking. There is no doubt about it. And his hands are stained. He managed to wash them off from the 2002 stain, but he's not going to be able to wash away the accusations being hurled against him of him being the patron of Adani. That's going to stay, definitely.
Tushar, coming back to Mahatma Gandhi, if you hear whether it is Prime Minister or whether it is any other BJP leader, they have tried to appropriate Mahatma Gandhi's figure, whether it is the Swachh Bharat campaign through those round glasses, every banner, every poster, every picture outside, these Swachh Bharat toilets which they have created. They have tried to make Gandhi look like a spectacle, and also at the same time, trying to appropriate his legacy. Do you see a move where BJP is trying to obliterate this entire fact that, Gandhi probably will not be seen as the father of the nation, but the utility of Gandhi is only when Modi or the BJP leaders go on the international platforms? Do you really see this happening or unfolding?
Definitely, because even if you look at the use of Bapu's imagery for the Swachh Bharat campaign, it's a disembodied spectacle. The man is missing. It's just a spectacle without the eyes, without the vision.
Right.
So they want convenient blinkers. They want Gandhi that suits them. And that is where their attempt to take over Sabarmati Ashram and remodel it so that they can present the Gandhi that is convenient to them also. And that is where it's very easy, it's very convenient and very beneficial for the Prime Minister to go and get his photograph clicked with all the statues of Bapu in the various countries that he visits, or take people to Rajghat or to Sabarmati Ashram, the foreign dignitaries to Sabarmati Ashram and Rajghat, to show them the Gandhi he wants them to see, not the Gandhi that really was. And that's why symbolic thing.
According to what you feel is the kind of Gandhi which Modi ji wants to showcase, and what is the idea of Modi's Gandhi, according to you, what you have read and whatever you heard from him so far?
A Gandhi who does not reprimand, a Gandhi who does not say, hey, come on, cut out the acting and be honest, be sincere, perform. A Gandhi who keeps reminding him that he is not a ruler, he is a mere sevak of the people. I don't think he wants that Gandhi to ever come alive, because that would be a very inconvenient Gandhi to live with. He wants the Gandhi who is like, in Maharashtra, there is a tradition of this man taking a bullock with them and playing the drum and then asking the bullock questions. And the bullock is trained to nod his head to every question. Modi would prefer a Gandhi like that, who can draw, with him on the string and say, Gandhi, do you approve of me? And he just dumbly nods his head. He wouldn't want a Gandhi who'd turn around and kick him and say, hey, behave yourself. You're not doing the right thing.
But supposing if there was no international compulsion of Gandhi's acceptability, would Narendra Modi or a person like Narendra Modi would ever bother about what Mahatma Gandhi is or was?
That is where he sits with Pragya Singh Thakur in the parliament, the Pragya Singh Thakur who uh, eulogizes Nathuram Godse. Between the two, I would prefer Pragya Singh Thakur. But she says honestly that I believe in violence, I worship Nathuram Godse. That's fine with me because then I can deal with her. But this man continuously sheds copious crocodile tears about how much Pragya Singh Thakur's statement hurt him, but doesn't even refuse to sit in the same house as her. And said, no, I'm not going to sit in that house as long as she's over there, let alone throw her out of it. The man who will talk about how he venerates Gandhi abroad has not taken one step to prosecute the woman from his own party who staged that whole tamasha about firing on Bapu's statue and, enacting his murder as if she was herself doing it. You see the insincerity of this man, the dishonesty of Narendra Modi is there for everybody to see. I don't know how he manages to pull the wool over everybody's eyes so successfully. And that, I think, is because he has his whole Godi media to portray that false image of him all the time and sort of dumb down the reality of it. Fortunately, we have some institution like yours who dare to give a platform to voices like mine still. Otherwise, this whole issue would have been very conveniently been brushed under the carpet by the Godi media. Nobody has bothered to report on it.
Right. Nobody, no, I didn't see the story coming up on any of the mainstream media channels. But yeah, absolutely. Tushar, but how do you really see now the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi? There is and you also realize that there is a move by the government where they are conveniently using Mahatma Gandhi wherever they can. They can easily shun him wherever they feel that, they should not be uttering his name. So it's about political convenience. So do you see a time when BJP will stop bothering about Mahatma Gandhi, or even will say that probably he doesn't exist in the history books as the father of the nation, and they would prop up some other figure probably who would be the new father of the nation?
And the new father of the nation is undoubtedly Savarkar, and that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen very soon. And it's just, Gandhi is just to legitimize their rule. Once they are able to do away with the constitution, once they are able to replace it by a more convenient thing, and that could happen after 24 if we allow them to have the kind of group majority that they enjoy. After 24, it will be very convenient for them to do away with the Constitution of India and finally establish their Hindu Rashtra. And for that Hindu Rashtra, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi cannot be the father of the nation. It has to be Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. And that's what they will do. That's what they will do. From time to time, they've had their people expressing that, saying that there can't be any father of the nation and things like that, and citing the fact that he has not been anointed the father of the nation by an act of parliament and things like that. Those are all also links in the chain to do away with Gandhi, finally, once and for all.
You've made a strong remark, and that's why I want to repeat it for the viewers, that you're saying that if 2024 BJP government comes back and if they're able to establish the Hindu Rashtra, then of course Mahatma Gandhi will cease to exist as father of the nation. And you're saying Savarkar would be perhaps the new father of the nation. Is that what you're saying exactly?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it.
Right. Okay, so Tushar, just one or two questions more before I wind up the interview. So, what is the recourse you have? Of course, you said that you will keep challenging all this constitutionally, but Gandhi belongs to the entire country. But you coming from his family, how would you really tackle this kind of an ignominy and the kind of humiliation which is coming, as far as Mahatma Gandhi is concerned?
Well, I will never stop tiring to stand up for the truth and saying the truth. I don't believe that Bapu requires an advocate to protect him. And I definitely don't want to be an advocate to protect him. But I will definitely reiterate the truth as I know it as loudly as I can. I will force people to hear it, whether they like it or not. I don't care. It's very convenient. A bunch of people will say, Mahatma Gandhi to hum sab ke hai, he belongs to all of us. The family has no special right over him and things. And then when it comes to prosecuting, since the comments of Sinha, every other tweet on social media, every other message that I'm getting on social media is, you are his great grandson, why aren't you prosecuting the governor? I said, hey, if he belongs to all of you, then you have equal right to prosecute. Why do you want me to go and prosecute him? At times he becomes my great grandfather. At times he becomes the father of the nation. But I don't mind. I have decided that being his descendant has brought me a lot of benefits, and it is my duty to stand up for him and proclaim the truth as I know it. And I will keep doing it no matter what they do, no matter what the circumstances are. I will not falter from stating the facts as I know them.
Okay. Thank you so much and wish you all the best, Tushar Gandhi. And it was really wonderful to talk to you about Mahatma Gandhi. And I hope the people realize what Mahatma Gandhi stands for. And also the people realize the kind of duplicity which is being practiced by the ruling dispensation as far as Mahatma Gandhi is concerned. Thank you once again, Tushar. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this interview. Send us your feedback as to what you felt about what Tushar Gandhi mentioned on this interview. And subscribe to our channel and stay tuned to the Federal. Thank you, Tushar, once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more interesting updates.